Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I would like to share my final thoughts on the QSP Penguin. This specific model is coming from Kaviso Outdoors, formerly known as Mass Drop or Drop. It is an online retailer that sells all types of goodies for EDC gear and also pretty sweet exclusive knives. So what they're offering from Kaviso currently, this guy was $100. I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, it's pretty freaking sweet for what you're getting right here. So let's start off with just some of the visuals. This is a stone washed finished blade, very tight grain stone washing. I love that. It's gonna hide use very well. And then this raindrop carbon fiber. Hopefully that's coming through my camera. This thing is just vibrant. It really is. The grain structure of the carbon fiber and the way that it was manufactured, it's quite unique, and I don't really have another knife like this. Really the only other fancy carbon fiber knife that I have would be the wee kite fin that I have, but that's like shred carbon. I think it was marbled. Can't remember. Anyway, S35 yen blade material, if I didn't already mention that. All titanium hardware. This is a titanium frame lock with a steel insert in there and amazing milled titanium pocket clip. The post spec here are also titanium. All the hardware is titanium except for this part of the pivot. The screw is titanium, but that part isn't. Besides that, everything else is actually titanium. I wasn't too sure on my unboxing and first impressions if it was or wasn't, but I have confirmed with my little magnet. I'm pulling the specs off of Kaviso over here. So let's see, overall length is 7 inches, closed length 4 inches, blade length 3 inches. So these are all very solid specs. I love the dimensions of this knife. It's just great, really is. Flat ground, not completely, but I mean, it is for the most part. So yeah, I wouldn't consider this a fully flat ground knife because there is this area up here. If it was fully flat ground, it would just be like this all the way up to the top, but it's not. So it is extremely thin behind the edge and it moves the material extremely well. Whatever grit or finish, whatever, like sharpening grit they finished at, bites into material so freaking well. Oh my God, this thing's freaking awesome. Currently right now, it looks like they still have this available, but the satin version is no longer available. They also have ones with like purple anodization and mokutai clips and mokutai scales, but you're just gonna have to go and check those guys out. The pivot is a little bit different on those. It actually still has the D shape for drop. Hopefully they'll go on sale as Kaviso is trying to flush through all of their old stock of drop branded knives. So I recently picked up another knife from Kaviso that is on sale because they're trying to get rid of stuff. But you guys will see that in a hopefully soon this week coming new unboxing. Anyway, let's get into some visual size comparisons. As I mentioned before with the specs, this is a pretty straightforward design, perfect dimensioning in my opinion. One of the best comparison knives, at least in my collection, would probably be this Civivi Elementum. The only major difference is that this is drop point, that is a sheep foot. They're both in titanium. This one doesn't have a titanium clip, this one does. I had to get the upgraded scales from Flightanium. Did cost a little bit more. But there's that one. Let's do the Demco 8020.5, a very similar blade shape. Major difference is that this actually has a curve to it. the edge itself. This is flat, like flat. And then 2 Benchmade knives, the Bug Out, and the Osborne 940. Last but not least, the Spyderco Power 3. So there you guys go. This is not a large knife. I would consider this a medium to large knife. And it is extremely comfortable in the hands. It does look like it's a little blocky, but things are softened up rather well. So the titanium, all the corners are knocked down. There isn't a single part of this knife, in my opinion, that is sharp besides the edge itself. And at that, it does an amazing job of being very sharp. It is running on ceramic bearings. I believe it also has a ceramic detent ball. And I only have 2 negatives about this knife. That's it, just 2. Everything else about this is basically perfect. So, getting into negatives, they would both be quality control things. The final grind, or the sharpening bevel, there's a huge smile back here. Hopefully you guys can see that. On the other side, it's perfect. But on this side, you get all the way down here, and yeah, you see that part down there? That's no bueno. That should not have left the factory like that. And at $100, while you are paying for materials, a portion of that does go to the fit and finish, and I really don't think that should have left the factory like that. That's just not cool. The sharpening choil is almost non-existent, so by the time I go to do, you know, the first sharpening, I'm honestly just gonna end up making that space even worse. So that is quite unfortunate. Another thing too is the detent. It is very well tuned to where, you know, it's easy to flick out, and even reverse flick. I can get my nail under there if I want to, or just my skin and just pop it out. Same thing with the back, with just my skin. Sometimes it slips off, so my hands are a little soft. And then if I get my nail behind it. But while it is perfectly centered, in my opinion, it does have a little bit of, I believe this is called detent lash. It moves in there, and if I loosen up the pivot to make it a little bit more drop shutty, if I go like this, it actually rattles, and you could hear the rattle, but not anymore. I tightened it, so the action will suffer a little bit from that. It's still extremely smooth, yeah, but instead of hearing it, I can still feel it. If I go like this, I can still feel the blade just jiggling there just a tiny bit. But when you go to disengage the knife, you don't feel it. You don't feel that extra little gap. I did take a little bit of cotton and tried to clean out the detent ball, or yeah, the detent and the detent hole, and just try to maybe see if I can get the ball to seat in its place properly. Didn't really do anything. So it is what it is, and that's just gonna be how this unit was, you know, put out there. The hardware, as I mentioned before, is all titanium. The pivot is a T8. The rest of it is T6. The ones on the titanium side back here are like glued. They're like super Loctited in there. I can't get them out, and I'm not willing to ruin more of my T6 bits. These ones I was able to take out. The pivot I was able to take out. Everything was machined extremely well, and I'm very happy for that. This is gonna be a pretty short video. This knife is sweet. It really is. And for $100, I'm okay with that. I'm a little bummed out about, you know, the sharpening, the job that they, you know, sent this out. Just like, it was poor quality control. That's all it was. It was just a visual thing. I don't believe it affects the performance whatsoever. This is still a great knife. Very thin behind the edge, and it's just, oh my god, it's freaking sweet. So very light duty jimping. It's almost non-existent actually. It looks more aggressive than it actually feels, and I think I would prefer to go a little bit further up and maybe a little bit deeper. I can get a little bit up here closer to the edge if I really wanted to bear down on this and get my thumb just right up there. I could also hold it like this if I want to get a little bit more control. If there was ever a mini that came out like a 2.5 inch blade, that'd be cool too. I'd probably end up picking one of those up if that was ever an option. I know button locks are a huge thing right now. Just think about it for a sec. A button lock penguin. I don't know. I'd probably go for that. There really isn't anything too bad to say about this knife. The finish on the titanium, it's pretty smooth. There is no texturing or anything like that. It might have been nice if there was maybe some like orange peel texturing that I've seen on some other titanium products, but that's all right. The pocket, if I didn't already mention before, it goes in and out of the pocket extremely well. Don't mind that that's up there, the S35 at the end, don't really care for that. It doesn't bug me. The QSP logo, that doesn't bug me either. It's extremely small and way better than what SOG does, that's for sure. You guys know what I'm talking about. And just with a little bit of encouragement, this comes down rather well. So when disengaging, the disengagement is extremely early and it's there, that's it. And with a little bit of shake, you can get it down. I have it much tighter than it was from the factory because I didn't like how you could actually hear the rattle from the loose detent. So I tightened it so I can't hear it anymore, but I can still feel it. But regardless, I will probably end up picking up another one of these. Like, this is such a great knife. I just hope that in whichever other one I pick up in the future that those issues will hopefully be non-existent. There's this cool little hole over here for lanyards for people who enjoy putting lanyards on their knives. I, for one, am not really a lanyard individual, but I like it that at least it's there and it's available. This is only for right-handed carry, unfortunately. I believe some of their other models allow for lefties also, but this one just currently isn't. But yeah, it's a very super short review. There's really not much to say about it. Just 2 complaints. That was it. It's a great knife. Pick it up, buy it. Not much else to say. Thank you guys for watching.